Hello, my name's Ron Lawrence. Welcome to my radio collection museum that we call Radio Heaven. This is going to be the first in a series of tours of the collection and stories, and just trying this out here to see how it's going to work. So just bear with me. This is my first trial here. What you see on the wall behind me are various brands of mostly 1920s broadcast receivers. What you would have to listen to the radio at home. Lots of different brands, Radiola, Freed Iceman, Lutz, Metrodyne, there's the Greaves over there, and various manufacturers of horns. In the 1920s, when you bought a radio, it was pretty much like the early days of buying a computer. You picked out what bits and pieces you wanted. Radios typically in the 20s did not come with tubes. When you went to the store, it wouldn't have tubes in it, so you'd pick out what brand tube you thought would happen to be the best. You would also pick out the speaker that you would want with your radio. Most of the speakers of the 20s would work on any of the radios with the 20s. What we have in front of us here is a pair of RADA and RC sold by Radiola, which was RCA. They were made by Westinghouse. These are the first radios made by Westinghouse for the purpose of listening to the radio at home broadcast reception. This was 1922. KDKA in Pittsburgh had the Westinghouse-owned station. That station had just come on the air, and Westinghouse realized that they didn't have a radio to sell to the public, to their listeners. So they created this. It was made in two versions, made and sold at the same time. One of them was this one that's called an RADA. You'll see it's in separate cabinets. There's a tuner here, a regenerative tuner, and then this one is a detector and two stages of audio amplification to drive a speaker. The reason behind making it in two cabinets was if you didn't need all this other stuff, if you just wanted a crystal set, you could buy this and hook a crystal detector to it and with a set of headphones, and you could listen to the radio. You could also put aftermarket detector amplifiers on this unit. They also included it, then put it in the same cabinet like this, and it's called an RC. They said they were both made at the same time, came on the market at the same time. 1922, 1923 is when these were produced and sold. When they came out with this, they realized that they didn't have, along with not having a radio, they didn't have a speaker to sell. The story is that the engineers of Westinghouse happened to go out to lunch one day. Frank Conrad, who was the guy that developed KDKA and one of their main engineers, happened to notice the horn on one of the guy's cars. And if you look at this piece sitting in front of me, this is what's called a Vocarola. This is the horn that the Westinghouse came up with to use with the RADA and RC. And it is very essentially the horn like was used on a car in the early 20s, except they were air and would have a long tube and a bulb where you'd squeeze it and it'd do honk honk. Well, they took a horn off the guy's car, put a headphone driver on it, and that's what they came up with their horn. So this was the first complete set to listen to the radio at home, produced by Westinghouse for RCA in 1922, 1923. We'll try this for this chapter and see how it turns out, and we'll do some more. Thanks for visiting.